There is not many things that I'm excited about in gaming, but this is one of them, man. Dude, Path of Exile 2 coming out next year. I'm so excited, dude. Guys, if you want to, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. I'm a streamer. I stream on the weekends, and I make out content Monday through Friday on YouTube. Join Tonk Nation, and let's get some Path of Exile content going. Let's go, baby. All right, so I found this video, and I was like, I need to watch this. So I'm wanting to do it with you guys.
It's hard to believe that it's been nearly 4 years since this beautiful man announced Path of Exile 2 on the stage at ExileCon back in 2019.
I didn't know that it was 2019.
Well, with ExileCon 2 just around the corner, here's everything we know about Path of Exile 2.
Wow. 4 years ago? I did not know it was that long ago that they announced it.
Path of Exile 2 will be a massive expansion of Path of Exile 1 rather than being a new standalone game. And it will introduce a new 7-act story campaign that can be played alongside the original campaign to access a shared endgame, the Atlas and mapping system we know and love.
Okay.
We'll also be getting some juicy graphics updates in part from engine upgrades and back-end optimizations, which will make the game look more like this.
See, and that's one thing that I'm excited about with the game, honestly. Is like the graphics in Path of Exile, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful graphics, but I'm really excited about the new graphics because like you can see there, like look at the detail, look at the crispness, look at just how that really looks. Like I'm just ready for it.
Times the detail.
There'll be plenty of new animations and environmental effects too. Just look at those arrows. And
that looked
character
pretty
models
sweet.
will be getting some updates as well.
See, like, look at how those characters look. That is awesome. Like that does look a lot better than what we have right now. And I think it's crazy that they have them around nooses.
All of the MTX you've invested your hard-earned cash into over the years will still work in Path of Exile 2.
That's good. That's what I like that. I love that they added that and that they made it, go from one to the other.
One of the biggest changes coming to the game with Path of Exile 2 is the complete overhaul of the skill gem and socket system.
All right, now I haven't heard this yet.
2, instead of socketing your support gems into linked sockets in your gear, you'll instead socket them directly into the active skill gem itself, which itself is then socketed into predetermined sockets in your gear. There'll be a flashy new skill gem interface to support this change. Orbs of fusing will be no more, as the sockets and skill gems will always be linked, and you'll be able to find up to 3 linked skill gems from item level 1 to 19. For linked skill gems from item level 20 onward, 5 linked skill gems from item level 35 onward, and fully 6 linked skill gems starting at item level 50. Also, did you spot that multicolored socket? That's a new addition with the predetermined gear socket system in Path of Exile 2. Gear will always drop with the same number and color of sockets based on type. Like this hybrid armor evasion helmet with a hybrid red and green socket, which means it can be socketed with either color of gem. Two-handed weapons will have 4 sockets, one-handed weapons and offhands will have 2 sockets each, body armors will have 2 sockets and helmets, gloves and boots will have 1 socket each. You'll still be able to modify the color of sockets on gear with a new in-game currency, and you'll also be able to use chromatic orbs and jewelers to modify the sockets on skill gems.
Okay.
If you find a skill gem with more links than the one you are using, you'll be able to destroy your current gem to apply the level and experience to the...
I'm liking this, but I'm also concerned about this because, don't get me wrong, I think that it's a good concept. So we're not going to have to worry about 6 linking our armor as much or our weapon. Okay. I can see where they're going with this. I think I like this. I think this is positive. I really think that this is a positive thing. I think it'll take some getting used to, obviously, but I think that in the long run, I think this is good.
The new gem to obtain more links. Not bad.
Okay. I like it. I'm excited. That's cool.
While the new socket and gem system may be the largest change that Path of Exile 2 will introduce, the addition of 19 new Ascendancy classes might be the most anticipated feature. The new Ascendancies will be tied to the new campaign, so if you want to play a Juggernaut or a Pathfinder, you will still need to play through the original campaign to reach the endgame. The
19.
Ranger will be getting the new Survivalist Ascendancy, with an interesting dynamic with the skill tree having defensive options on the left side and offensive options on the right side. One of the offensive options, Division, grants you 2 copies of compatible skills socketed in your bow, one supported by GMP and the other by Barrage.
Dude.
Potentially 2 7 links. The Survivalist will also have an Ascended-like choice.
Dude, no way. Okay, so the Archer, we might be just playing an Archer. Okay, in Path of Exile 2, when it comes out, we might be heading down the Archer train. That sounded pretty OP.
Between Fork, Pierce, and Chain, and the multiplication skill that allows you to save your projectiles to build up larger bursts. On the defensive side, we have Spell Avoidance, which converts your evasion into Spell Evasion. Spell Accuracy, anyone? The Ranger will also be getting the Beastmaster Ascendancy, which heavily supports the new shape-shifting abilities that will be coming in Path of Exile 2. This Ascendancy will grant you the Workat skill, a high crit shape-shifting ability which you won't be able to find anywhere else. You'll also be able to spec into Wild Shape to massively improve shape-shifting bonuses and keep those bonuses even when you're in human form. Ally of
All right, I was a little bit more excited when he said Beastmaster because I thought that maybe we were going to have pets. I was really thinking the pets, but I mean, it might be cool to be able to transform into what that werewolf looking thing. I mean, it's going to be a different kind of play style. It's going to be more like the Diablo 4 werewolf or whatever, druid. Yeah, the Diablo 4 druid.
the Wild will give you a nice little companion that will work like a golem and provide buffs. You can even specialize into which type of companion you need. The Ranger's third new Ascendancy, the Tactician, is possible.
Wait, I heard companion. Hold on, I heard companion. That. Huh. Okay. All right. If we have a Beastmaster and it has pets, oh yeah, we're playing it. We're playing it.
The most ambitious of them all.
Yep.
The Tactician will be able to continuously bombard areas with raining arrows and even gain multiple uses of this skill, which will prevent enemies from attacking at range.
Oh, that's
Meanwhile,
beautiful.
the Siege Warfare and Siege Breaker notables will provide massive buffs to your totems, like ensnaring enemies and making them take more ranged attack damage, and allowing the most recently placed totem to deal a lot more damage.
Dude, that's at 100%.
The most interesting of all is the Close Combat Specialist, which will enable the Tactician to use axe and sword melee abilities with a bow. The developers did mention that they are re-rigging animations, which have made things like bows using melee animations possible in Path of Exile 2. Pretty cool.
I mean, that's different. That's different. Don't get me wrong. That's different. Is it cool? A little bit. I mean, what, you're going to be able to use like a slam with a bow in your hand? Wouldn't that break your bow?
A lot of information on the other Ascendancies, but we do have some names and concepts. Here's the Defiler, a new Witch Ascendancy. And the Arcanist, another Witch Ascendancy that will have a heavy focus on lightning damage and charging up energy. There's also
now, I mean, if you've been watching the stream, then you know how much I've been loving the Witch. So I'm kind of excited to see this, I'm not gonna lie.
A War Leader Ascendancy for the Marauder, which will grant powerful bonuses to allies around him. And this,
the Marauder,
an unnamed Marauder Ascendancy with a focus on avatars and ancestral abilities. New Ascendancy.
That might be kind of cool, but I do think that the Marauder needs some. I do think the Marauder needs some love. I really do. I think that all the melee classes need some love. I really think that.
These are pretty exciting, but there's also going to be new weapon types too. We know of at least two
new
of
weapons.
Them. The crossbow and the
I was
spear.
just about to say it.
These new weapons seem to hint at a new direction in terms of gameplay in regards to your choice of weapon, as both of them will grant new skills.
I think so. The crossbow is probably obviously going to shoot slower, but probably more but have more powerful bullets. That's what I'm going to assume here.
Crossbows grant implicit attack skills such as Power Shot, a high damage single target ability.
Oh yeah, single target.
Instead of socketing attack skills, you can socket crossbow bolt types to augment the attack abilities and change what they do. We know of at least 3 types of bolts.
Yeah, that's what I was
Armor-piercing,
thinking.
incendiary, and permafrost.
Okay. Permafrost.
Meanwhile, the spear will allow you to
How
use
the
new
hell did they
engage
say?
and
Let's put
disengage abilities
permafrost.
to provide freedom of movement and more interesting combat.
I kind of, you know what?
Aside from what we've already discussed,
I hope with the spear that they add some kind of like 300, like we're Sparta. You know what I mean? Like I hope that you get like the shield and you have the spear and like you get maybe like a jump skill and you can feel like Sparta. That would be pretty sweet.
just in this video, there are a few more tidbits of information we have about Path of Exile 2.
It's kind of looking like it
We
too.
know that there will be a new gem type called meta gems,
Like,
which
I
the
feel like that'd be
developers
pretty sweet.
described as the opposite of an active skill gem. Instead of socketing support gems into an active skill gem, you'll socket
Okay.
active gems into meta gems. Like this proficiency meta gem for auras, which
All right, this is where you need your PhD in Path of Exile. All right, all of you guys who are brainiacs and like super smart to the game, soak this up and tell me what it means, because I'm kind of dumb. I'm just saying.
will allow you to turn all of your auras on or off with a single hotkey.
Yeah, buddy.
Cast on critical strike support and spell totem support will also be meta gems. Speaking of spell totem, the developers also talked about tentative plans for new AI options to allow your spell totems to use skills in certain orders.
What?
In this example, they showcased a spell totem setup that will curse any uncursed enemies in the area before moving on to use other skills. On the discussion
Okay,
of AI,
they're making
they
the
also
totems
mentioned
smarter.
that monster packs will have more interesting AI in Path of Exile 2, such as patrolling areas where appropriate. Of course, you can also expect other upgrades such as
That
UI
looked
elements,
cool.
like this new
I'm just saying, like all the like when they person went into that and had all those totems just standing still, and then all of a sudden they started walking at you. Like that's like a scary movie. Do you not agree that that is like a scary freaking movie, man? I would be nervous.
character sheet which will provide information that is better laid out and easier to
I
find.
like that.
And look at this new skill gem stat screen too. During a discussion on some of the pain
So many
points in
stats.
developing
So many
Path of
stats.
Exile, the
So
developers
many
talked
stats.
about having ascendancy skills such as the pre-existing bone armor on the Necromancer, or the new
Yeah.
skills like those granted by the Beastmaster, and having them scale as you progress in Path of Exile 2.
Form skill 10% more damage while shapeshifted. Ally of the wind grants summon wildcat companion skill. You have a wildcat aspect while your companion is active. So this is making me feel like there's going to be a companion, like you're going to be able to summon, like the archer's going to be able to summon some pets that the pets are going to be doing the attacking for you. It's kind of giving me like a World of Warcraft vibe, or like a summoner archer Deadeye transcendency, spec or direction that we'll be able to go there.
Instead of granting a static value.
I mean,
like they do
they're talking about the
currently.
necromancer, so
They
maybe
weren't
we'd be able to do that on the necromancer. Maybe not the archer, but the necromancer. That'd still be pretty
Sure
sweet.
yet if this would be tied to level progress or based on when you take each ascendancy notable.
Yeah.
The developers also talked about how the new Ascendancy notables in Path of Exile 2 are designed to have far less clutter stats and instead focus on one or two impactful stats.
Okay.
They mentioned that the original Ascendancies will need a rebalance to bring them to the same level. Well,
I mean,
that's
yeah.
just about all we know about Path of Exile 2. The project was slated for a 2022 release prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, which
Yeah, it
ultimately
didn't-
impacted the planned schedule. But
Yeah.
by how much? Will we see a 2023 release?
June.
We'll likely find out that and a lot more about Path
June.
of Exile 2 at ExileCon on July 29th
Yeah.
and 30th in Auckland, New Zealand.
Auckland.
If you've enjoyed this video, help the algorithm out by clicking the thumbs up and subscribing for more
Yeah, I
content
think-
like this in the future.
I think this
I'm
was a good
Dreamcore.
video.
This was everything
really
we
do.
know about
I
Path
think-
of Exile 2.
I
and
think this was a really good video. Dreamcore, this guy, I think he put together a really good video. We're gonna give this a thumbs up here. I really like that. I think that the guy did a really good job. Yeah, buddy. So I mean, if you're looking at all the information, I mean, it really shows you what actually is coming to Path of Exile 2, and I'm super excited about it. Like, and that video was like from 7 months ago. So there's obviously more information that there's probably out already, and I know that every month that goes by, I really think that in like January they're going to start ramping up the Path of Exile 2 content, because they're going to be trying to get everybody as pumped as possible heading into the beta of Path of Exile 2. And I'm excited about it because, like, if you just look at how well they did with Path of Exile, going into obviously Path of Exile 2, like, it's like night and day. It's like it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing what they've done. It's a beautiful thing what Grinding Gear Games has done for the gaming community, and they keep bringing out more stuff. And we have for Path of Exile, we have the events coming up. So if you guys are interested in the events, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell on this channel. Will be live this weekend playing some Path of Exile. I'm pretty sure the events start on the 5th. And we're going to be doing that. So make sure you guys join up if you want to watch in. Also, if you haven't followed my Twitch, make sure you follow my Twitch as well. That way you don't miss a live, and hit the notification bell over there as also. And we do have a Discord server. So if you want to talk Path of Exile, we do have the Discord server on the main page of Twitch and YouTube. So listen, guys, I love you. Watch some other videos. Go check them out. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go get it.